All right, so in this video, we're going to start to look at how to implement actual functionality into the website that we just built. So we're still going to stay looking on the plumbing website. We're going to use that for all of these demos, and we're going to build out different functionality as we go across this, okay? So let's head back into Cursor. And you can see this is exactly where we left off last time around. So we had it build the website, we had it run the application. That's exactly what we've seen the last time around. Now what we're going to do is, if we run the application again, then we're going to go to the web page, which I closed conveniently. There we go. So this is the website as it stands right now before we make any changes to it. Now the bit we're going to focus on is this contact us bit down at the bottom down here. So this is obviously a contact form where you can record your name, your email address, and any kind of message you want. So to keep it simple, I'm not going to add any more fields to this. The functionality that I'm going to add is to take this, construct an email, and actually send that to me in this case. But if this was for an actual customer, this would be send the email to the actual customer. Okay, so let's minimize that for a second. So this is just prompting this from this point out. So what we want to say is, when a potential customer fills out the details in the contact form, I want you to send those details to our webhook. Okay, what the hell am I talking about here? So what we want to do is just grab our website again for a second. What we want to do is, customer comes in here, enters their name, enters their email address, enters a message, and hits send. And this is the bit where we want the website to actually take an action. We want to gather up all that information that's here, and we want to send to something called a webhook. Now, a webhook is essentially an API is the best way to kind of think about it. It's an endpoint that you can call to send information to or request information from. Now, for the purposes of this demo, what we're going to do is we're going to keep it as simple as we can, and we're going to use N8N for this. Now, if you've never used N8N before, it is a low-code, no-code, drag and drop platform that's focused on automation and AI. Super useful tool. Super user-friendly, super new user-friendly, especially if you've no background in tech before. It's very easy to get going with this because you don't need any kind of technical knowledge, but you still can do things like webhooks and send emails and connect to Slack and all that kind of stuff. So what we have in here is webhook. Now this is our endpoint that we're going to tell the website that we want to hit. Okay, so we're going to grab this, we're going to go back to Cursor, and we're going to say, this is the webhook I want you to send the information to. You must send all of the fields in the contact form. And then I'm going to paste that in there, and I'm going to hit send, and it may or may not ask me some more questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward this a little bit just so I can get it to the point where it's actually done, and then I will come back and I'll show you exactly what I did. Okay, so now what we have is Cursor has finished setting up our contact form, or web contact form on the website itself. So visually, if you look at the website, it's not going to look very different at all. In fact, it's going to look exactly the same. So you still have name, email address in there, but what it's done in the background is, when you send this message, it's set it up to send it to our webhook. If we have a look at our N8N, we can see I've set up a little flow in here just to simulate it sending a message to you. Not going to get too bogged down in this, but essentially this is the incoming webhook where we receive the data. This is where we just do a little bit of formatting on the data to say, you know, there are only certain fields, because there's a lot in here and you don't need all of it really when you get sent this. So this is over here in this edit fields, we're just able to say, okay, so give me the name, give me the email, give me the message, and give me the timestamp and where it came from. And then it tidies that up, and that's getting ready to send in the actual email. So these are the fields that we have. And then in our Gmail node, you can see what we're doing is just setting up this node to send a message to me at my email address. Subject is contact from Acme Plumbing, and then we have the contact time, name, email, and message in here. So let's look at it all working. Okay, so I'm going to save this. I'm going to hit execute workflow. So this is how you test. You hit execute workflow, and that webhook, the test webhook, is now listening for the input from the website. So we go back to our website and we put in our name and we put in our pretend email address, and this is a test message from Acme contact form or something like that. Doesn't really matter. Just for testing purposes, this is what we're going to do. So we know we have our workflow running. We can see that up there, a little circular thing saying it's running. So then we hit send message, and we'll get a little message from this website itself to say thanks for your message, we'll contact you soon. Now we go back to N8N and we can see here's our incoming webhook, and if we scroll down to the bottom, you can see the body. This is the bit that we're actually interested in. So you can see it sent us the name, email, message, timestamp, and where it came from. And then what I've done then is set up these other couple of nodes just to pull that information out, make it a bit tidier. And then I'm using a Gmail node to actually take this information, construct an email in here, and actually send that. So my inbox at the minute has an email in there. So this is the one that I just sent. So you can see it's exactly what we sent. Rob Delaney, Rob D at Gmail. This is a test message from Acme contact form. So that is it. That is your form setup. That is setting it up in the code, setting up a basic workflow in N8N, and it's sending you an email automatically when your customer hits that send message on your website. So that is it. That's your first third-party integration finished using N8N. Now obviously you can see, you know, this is obviously very basic what I've done in here. This is literally just send an email, but like you could in theory in here come and send it to Slack or Telegram or wherever you want to send it to your CRM of choice, all those kind of things. Super useful and super easy. In the next video, we're going to do a little bit of a pivot, and we're going to look at how you supercharge the abilities of Cursor using MCP servers.